Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is October 15th, 1999.
Yes, sir.
And quick programming note before we get into the movie. Carol and I have made a decision.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
not want to announce that now?
No. We can.
So we've decided that we're not gonna completely end the show during the summer because we'll have Dawson and Buffy.
We'll be on break.
Boffin and Dusty during the rest of the year. But yeah, in summer we'll be on break. So instead of having nothing for you during the summer,
That's way too long.
We'll do some of the regular show during the summer.
Yeah, we'll do some movie reviews and
Yeah, we'll watch some movies, do some movie reviews. Maybe we'll do ones that come out around the time. Maybe we'll do some that don't. God bless you.
sorry, everybody.
Maybe we'll do our top 10 so far, something like that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But we're not going to completely abandon you
Right.
on that long break when there's nothing on TV.
Mm-hmm.
We will still talk to you about the movie.
Yeah, this will just reduce our week-to-week load.
So, yeah, I wish you'd stop saying ending the show anyway, because it's not, I mean, like, we're always going to keep doing episodes. It's not like we're ever going to stop making tapes.
Ever.
We'll be 75 years old. Let me tell you about these newfangled movies.
Oh, my goodness.
It's 2022, and movies are terrible now.
Anyway, so on to the show. Speaking of not terrible movies, Carol,
We
watched Combat.
We saw.
Come on, wait a second. Combat Guild.
You're so weird. We saw Fight Club,
Fight Club,
and it was awesome.
based on a novel by Chuck Palahniuk.
Hallenuk, I think.
Is that how his name's
I
pronounced?
don't know. I think so.
I haven't read the book, but I kind of want to read the book now. Or some of the other books that he's written.
It seems like it would be super interesting to get like the what's going on in their heads, perspective
Literally,
that you don't get when you're watching a movie.
What did you think of Fight Club, Carol?
I loved it. It was so fun. Like, I don't know. I love the characters. I love the vibe. Everything about it. It was just a very enjoyable watch.
It's definitely a movie with vibes.
Yes.
So it's hard to say. We've had a lot of really good movies this year.
Yeah.
Hard to say what my favorite is. It's definitely in the top 3, I think, though, of movies we've seen this year. Better than the fucking Star Wars movie we saw.
Oh, yeah. I think it's either this or Go for me.
Oh, Go. Yeah, Go was good. I mean, I can't forget The Matrix.
The Matrix was very, very good as well.
American Beauty, which we watched recently.
It was also
I also
very good.
liked that movie. There are a lot of good movies this year.
Great movies.
What about the Blair Witch Project?
It was also really good.
Anyway, so this is a good movie, though.
It is.
What about Seven?
What?
That didn't come out this year.
What are you talking about?
Seven, the movie Seven.
What?
The movie Seven!
I hear you. I just...
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. We watched it 4 years ago.
We did?
Yeah. Maybe 3 years ago? I don't know. It was a while
I
ago.
didn't remember that we made a tape about that movie.
Yeah, we made a tape about Seven.
We've done so many of these now. It's like I can't remember. I can't keep them straight anymore.
Yeah. Well, we did.
But that was a very good movie as well.
David Fincher.
David Fincher.
That's who directed it. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. I was right.
All right.
4 years
All
ago.
right. Isn't it crazy that we've been making these tapes so long?
I know, seriously. But anyway, so
I am Jack's broken heart.
I think famously Edward Norton is not named in this movie. At the end, he's credited as narrator. I think his name is Jack.
Yeah, I want to get. I bet the book gives him a name. Maybe it doesn't.
Or John.
Maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So there are a lot of bold choices.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the things that I like about movies that like. I like movies that make bold choices because they can go either way, and it's I don't know. It's just it's more interesting to me.
So,
Yes, David Fincher, director. Lots of bold choices.
like this soap. Like, I mean, the thing is, it's like the story, right? The story in itself is a bold choice. Everything about it is bold. Like making soap from human fat. And by the way, if you haven't seen this, go watch it because this has a fucking twist.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Watch. So yeah, don't listen to this until you see the movie.
because like we find out at the end of the movie or closer to the end of the movie,
Yeah.
not all the way at the end.
No, like at the beginning of I would say the beginning of the third act is him discovering
Yeah,
this.
that this guy thinks that he has made friends with Tyler Durden, who's Brad Pitt, when in reality he's just crazy as fuck. And Brad Pitt is his imaginary friend or his alter ego. Because he thinks that but he thinks he's with him sometimes, which is different than an alter ego.
Yeah, that's true.
It's weird. Like, I don't think that this is how this would clinically present in somebody. You know what I mean? But I don't.
Right.
I don't even care because it's such a good movie and it's such a good story.
Is he? What's the dude Nash that did all the mathematics stuff? Nash
Schizophrenic.
equilibriums. So could he be schizophrenic?
I don't think
Have
he's
delusions.
schizophrenic. I don't think that's what's going on. I think that he became psychotic from lack of sleep.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because he suffered from insomnia.
And he's probably bipolar
Uh-huh.
or manic depressive, however you want to say it. And that's probably why he wasn't sleeping. And then that triggered the psychotic break. But no, I don't think that he is like classically, this is a psychotic person. I don't think that that's what's going on here.
Right. Well, he suffers from the national ennui of now, which is I'm a wealthy, somewhat wealthy anyway, white guy who is bored with life because I have too much stuff.
And see, another symptom though.
Because that was American Beauty too.
Yeah, it was. Another symptom of bipolar disorder is spending a bunch of money.
Well,
And he certainly does that.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's probably is hinting at that. You're right. It probably is hinting at that he has that mental disorder.
But then when he starts losing time, that's what you would call dissociative identity disorder. And
Sure.
I don't think that's usually a part. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that what they've created here would really exist in a person.
How clinically significant is that? Like how from an actual clinical perspective? Because I've heard of that before, multiple personality and stuff like that, Sybil, and all that shit we've heard of. And I think they've said Sybil was faking it, basically.
Yeah.
Are there actual real cases presented where they're like, yeah, this is for sure real?
Okay, so multiple personality disorder, as it used to be called, that
What'd you call it?
dissociative identity disorder
Okay.
is a little bit different. I would have to pull out like my books to really get into
Sure.
this, but you can have dissociative symptoms. You can lose time. You can dissociate where you feel like your life is not really your life. You can have those symptoms without having multiple personalities.
Like a distinct, separate personality.
Right. So dissociative identity disorder, for sure, yes, people can have that, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're having this.
Right.
But multiple personalities, actually having that, I've seen people claim to have it.
Right.
I don't know if I believe it. I mean, like, it's incredibly rare if it exists, and I think a lot of the times people are making it up.
Yeah. But to get, because I want to explore this topic a little bit more too. But I want to make the point that I was thinking of watching this movie.
Okay.
We live in blessed times.
Yes, we do.
I mean, I guess I should knock on wood when I say that, but the economy is doing well. We're not at war with anyone right now. We have like peace with Russia for the like the Cold War's over and military spending's down. Peace is thriving throughout the globe. Obviously, there are places where people are still fighting and there's still wars going on that we're not necessarily involved in. So there's still strife in places around the world. But I think there's more peace now than there's ever been. And the economy is going well. We have like new exciting technologies like the internet and things like that we're exploring and everything. So now the bad guy or like the conflict, because there's so little conflict in the world right now, the conflict in our films has to be, we've got too much stuff. We feel like, I think a lot of us or a lot of people feel like a society that's lost its soul almost. Because I think that's what Tyler Durden, narrator, whatever you want to call him, I think that's what he's getting at when he's saying like, I've surrounded myself with stuff and it means nothing and everything. And I think it's the same thing in American Beauty that he was talking about, is like he's having a midlife crisis. But I think it's
much less crazy, but crazy still.
Right. But I think it's more about like finding the things that like matter to you. So he's lacking a spiritual, emotional connection or epiphany. He's got all this material stuff, but not the stuff that really enriches you. And I think that's what like his struggle is. Now, whether or not you fill that with working out so you can try to fuck a teenager and doing a bunch of pot, or building bombs.
Starting a cult.
Yeah, starting a cult and building bombs so you can destroy buildings, quote unquote, hurting no one. I don't know how you collapse 6 fucking buildings in the middle of a city. There's no street traffic.
Right?
They killed people.
And
100%.
I'm sorry, like the debris that would go up into the air, that's gonna, I mean, like if I with my bad lungs, like I would be in some serious trouble.
Seriously, they want the ending of this movie, and like we said, spoilers and everything, you have to have seen this movie to get what we're talking about. But they want the end of this movie where the big plan for their cult, Project Mayhem, is
it's like the Joker.
Right, exactly. is to destroy these buildings that house all the credit information for everyone, so that financially we all start at zero. It's basically wiping out everyone's debt. They want that plan to happen where it's like, hey, we're not evil. This is a financial victory for everyone. We're just attacking the finances. We're just attacking the materialistic obsession. It's what he did to his apartment on a grander scale. You know, he burned his apartment, he exploded his apartment as a protest against all this materialistic stuff, and this is that on a grander scale.
Yep. Blew up his apartment and moved into a fucking abandoned building and started squatting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they want that victory, that big victory, without any human life, because that would be spiritually, emotionally, that would hurt that. They don't want that hurt. But realistically, you can't do what you did
and
without killing some people. Some people died in that explosion.
Oh, yeah.
Even if no one's in the building, some asshole walking his dog on the street died.
Right.
And that dog died.
Yeah.
You killed dogs.
Awful. And I'm sorry, but I get, like, you want to attack, like, the big, the big corporations. Yeah. But, like, there are people who worked really hard for their financial standing that also got that wiped out.
Yeah,
so
no shit.
That's not cool.
What about that guy with perfect credit?
Right? I'd be really pissed.
But yeah, I mean, I get the idea behind it, but this is also, this is a cult of personality movie. These are hard to make. This is why I think this is, and I hope that people don't take the wrong lesson from this, because cult of personality is basically like you said, a cult leader. And it's very difficult in book form or in movie form to make a cult of personality film because you can either go one of two ways. The leader is so clearly a villain that everyone watching the movie is like, how the fuck would any of these morons get wrapped into this? Or you make him so charismatic and believable, like Brad Pitt is kind of in this movie, that people are like, fuck yeah! So, like, they become cult members.
Right.
Because the point of the movie is Tyler Durden is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Tyler Durden is a bad cult leader who gets people killed. And Edward Norton's, like, the alter ego of that is sort of trying to counterbalance that. Like, when what's his name? When Meatloaf gets shot.
Robert Paulson.
Yeah, when Robert Paulson gets shot and killed. And he's like, everyone's like, well, we have no name. No one in Project Mayhem has any names or whatever. And he's like, what the fuck? Like,
And he's the one that did this.
Right.
He's the one that did this.
But he doesn't know that yet.
How confused they must have been sometimes. Like, when he just acts like, what's wrong with all of you? You're doing what I said. Huh.
So I didn't figure this out. But I knew something was wrong. Because they, like, I don't know, like, I knew something was weird. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, so all the things that happen when... I would love to see... This is a movie you got to watch again. Because I'd love to sit through this movie again and be like, okay, does this make sense? Was he here, there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but how confusing must Helena Bonham Carter have been?
Right? That poor lady.
She has sex with this guy, and he's like,
what are you doing here?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh, you're here?
Oh, you're here again, huh? I didn't even know. What?
You were just inside me.
Right? She must be so confused. But, like, I feel like her character is sort of the heart of the movie. Because she's the one character not wrapped up in the cult that's also a part of the main story.
Right.
So she interacts with, quote-unquote, both of them. Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. But she's not wrapped up in him. So she's sort of the outside character. Even though she's nuts, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But they meet because they're both tourists, he calls them, from support groups. It's the one thing
crazy.
that keeps the light, allows him to sleep, but is he sleeping? Because I don't know that he is.
Ooh, yeah, maybe he's just losing time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because I noticed, because it's Brad Pitt, we see Brad Pitt a couple times before they quote-unquote meet. There's one time in the airport where they're on a thing, he's going one way and he's going the other way.
Yeah.
Like a moving sidewalk or whatever it is.
And then there's one time where he just kind of like a cut in the movie like his character would have done. He just kind of flashes on the screen.
Yeah. Interesting. And he talks about all these jobs that he had, and it's obviously jobs that he's doing. How much fucking money does this guy have?
Right.
He's doing like 5 jobs.
Because he doesn't sleep.
Insane. Well, literally insane.
For sure.
But what was some of your favorite parts of the movie? You think what were some of the things that really got you?
I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
What a line!
I love her character so
Yeah.
much, and I love the dress. And like, I love everything about it. Like when she's talking about this dress was loved so much for a day. Like I just like her.
She has a very matter-of-fact type of delivery in this. Like everything, and I think that's good. Everything with her is very surface level. She's open, she's on the surface, even though she's pretending to have all these things. But with the audience, with her interactions with the characters we know, she's very open, she's very surface, and that's a good juxtaposition for Edward Norton / Brad Pitt, because everything about him is closed off, is below, by design, so that we can have that twist at the end of the movie. But they counterbalance each other a lot, and I think that's good. And her delivery, her acting choices like I said, her flat, like, just matter of fact delivery, I think works well against their more obfuscated delivery.
Yeah. Or the scene where he beats himself up in front of his boss to accuse his boss of doing it, which
And then he
was
says,
a giant clue that we missed.
yes, because he says, for some reason I thought of my first fight with Tyler. Because that's what you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
You did that exact thing. So he starts a fight club to get out male aggression. And then he takes all these people and turns them, like the ones that are willing to go farther, turns them into fucking cult members.
Yeah.
He slowly indoctrinates them into what they need to be.
I'm amazed he was able to keep his regular job as long as he did, though.
Yeah. How did he make soap, too? How did he learn how to do that?
He read books.
He read the Anarchist's
Exactly.
cookbook.
But do you remember there was a scene where he's sitting in a fucking meeting at work and he bares his teeth and they're all covered in blood?
Yeah.
How do you not just get fired
Seriously, how good is this guy at his job? He must be the fucking best in the world.
right then? Right?
His job, by the way, which is interesting, is to assess damages and figure out if it costs more money to do a recall or to just let people die. Insane.
Which I feel like that could be, one of the many things that tipped him over to the crazy place,
Sure.
because that's got to be emotionally disturbing. Like, he's looking at a car where they're talking about, look, you can see the fat, melted into the seat and stuff, like, awful.
Also, it sort of foreshadows how he knows about different types of accidents and things like, like explosives and stuff like that, because he's probably seen a lot of that shit.
Yeah. Ugh.
But, yeah, I don't know how he kept his job for as long as he did. I don't know how he functions at all.
No. Well, and he's living in an abandoned fucking building with, like, brown water coming out of the pipes. Like, disgusting. What does he eat? How does he have electricity?
I don't know how the electricity and water is still running, but...
I mean, he did something to get the electricity on.
Yeah, maybe he short wires it. I don't know.
He must be just a very smart person.
Yeah. I do wonder though, like, this was one thing I heard somebody say outside the theater. They were like, if the first two rules of Fight Club are not to say Fight Club or whatever,
Not to talk about Fight Club.
then how come they keep getting more members? And it's like, I wanted to grab this guy and be like, did you not understand the movie? Like, the whole point is it's teaching them to break the rules. Like, that's the whole point. That's why more people keep showing up. And, like, it spreads everywhere to, like, different cities and shit. How long was this going on?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, how long was this dude not sleeping? He couldn't have been completely not sleeping.
Well, no, he said he slept sometimes. I mean, I know we're thinking that's probably when Tyler took over, but he had to sleep somewhere. Eventually you would die if you don't sleep at all.
Yeah, because this had to have taken at least a year
Yeah.
to, like, and that, I think, is being generous. Because he had enough people in enough different cities. There was, like, 8 different cities that had fight clubs that had built up and everything that he fucking started. And that had to have taken time.
He got a year's salary, so, from his job when they just let him go home and didn't actually fire him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. When he faked beating himself
being
up.
beat up, yeah.
Which is the same thing that happens in American Beauty. He also gets a fucking year's salary when he accuses his boss of sexually harassing him.
Oh my god!
These are the same movie.
I'm not just confusing them, right? This happened.
No,
in
that
both movies.
it does happen.
Okay,
because he's carrying his stuff out. He's all like beat up. He's carrying his stuff out in a box. And he's like, "That's how I got a fucking year's salary or whatever." Like, yes.
I don't think that shit really works in the real world. People don't try to blackmail
beat
your
yourself.
boss into giving you a year's salary.
Yeah, somebody's going to be in his office like beating the shit out of him. The security's going to come in and he's be like, he sexually harassed me. Oh, I confused the two. But yeah, it happens in both movies. There's so many similarities to these movies. I didn't even think about it. But there really is.
There really are.
And they both get shot in the head at the end of the movie.
Yeah, he
One
survives
One dies, and the other one somehow shoots himself
through the cheek.
out of the side of the head, I guess. And that metaphorically kills Tyler. I guess Tyler's gone?
I don't think Tyler's gone.
Well, it's weird because, like, he tries to... So Edward Norton's, like, sort of fully in control, kind of, towards the end of this movie. And he's trying to stop the bombs from going off. And he can't. He's put this thing into motion, and there's no way to stop it. So they bring Helena Bonham Carter to him. He, takes her hand or whatever and says, "You've met me at a very interesting time in my life." As all these bombs are going off and everything. He's the leader of this fucking Project Mayhem or whatever. I feel like this is him kind of giving up. Like, not giving up completely, but like giving over to his Tyler side.
Okay.
I feel like there's a fusion of ideologies that maybe he'll be a nicer, like, mayhem guy or whatever. I don't know. But here's the other thing, too. He's definitely under arrest, right? Like,
Well, if they catch him, but nobody knows he did any of this except for the Fight Club people.
but how? Like, how can you start? Like, he starts essentially a terrorist cell in the United States. How does one do that? Like, he went up to the police commissioner because the police commissioner is like, "Oh, there's fucking acts of vandalism or whatever around the city, and we're gonna fucking get these guys." And he threatens the police commissioner, and the police commissioner 100% sees his face.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fucking don't fuck with us."
Yeah, that was not realistic
And that works somehow.
because it's a story and not reality.
But now that he's done this, like, the FBI's going to be on him. You
Yeah.
know? Like, maybe the CIA too, because like I said, this is essentially domestic terrorism. Like, when the Oklahoma City bombing happened 4 years ago, they weren't just like, "We'll never find him." No, they got Timothy McVeigh and Terry
Right.
Nichols. They got them.
Sure.
So I feel like I don't want to see a Fight Club 2. Obviously, not every movie needs a sequel. I don't need Fight Club 2, but I wouldn't mind if somebody made some short video of like, here's all the things that happened after, because reality's got to crash in at this point. There's a reason you end your movie or book or both on this destruction, because this is the end, essentially. I don't know how, at this point, this is a major event, and this is a major investigation. The entirety of the United States... Oh, welcome in, Kat. The entirety of the United States is going to be behind this now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Attorney General is going to be having press conferences about Tyler Durden.
He probably should have just succeeded in killing himself. It probably would have been better.
Yeah. But, I mean, I would say one of my strongest recommends.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the theater, see it multiple times.
For sure. You have to, because otherwise, how are you going to be able to enjoy the craziness that was Tyler Durden?
I mean, I could break this down on a technical level, I suppose, as well. Like, obviously, the acting is phenomenal. Brad Pitt is so good
Yeah.
in this movie.
So is Edward Norton.
Edward Norton is excellent too, but like we knew Edward Norton was a good actor. This is, to me, this is sort of Brad Pitt's coming out party. He was good in Seven. I enjoyed him in Seven, but this is a very good, nuanced performance. Everyone, and Helena Bonham Carter, as we talked about, is fantastic. Everyone in this movie is good. Even Meatloaf's good in the movie.
Yeah.
But like on a technical level, I'm not going to get into it because this would be another like 40 minutes. But we could easily talk about all the decisions David Fincher made, from the lighting changes from when Brad Pitt's in charge and Edward Norton's in charge. There are different lighting cues. The juxtaposition from the wide open flat, high key lighting of his corporate life and everything to the low key lighting of his Project Mayhem shit. And then, all the stuff that they do with the frame. Like they actually, there are times when they move the frame around and everything. They actually manipulate the film and that's a part of it too, because he works as a projectionist, as you said, and splices in 1 second of pornography into kids' films.
It's awful.
Fucking awful. But like they do a lot with film, the actual physical medium of film. It's really very interesting.
It is.
But yeah, like I said, I would highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, we spoiled everything for you, but still go see it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll enjoy it again and again.
But Carol, why don't you? That's the show for the week. Why don't you tell people where they can find their own Fight Club?
So you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
I hope real Fight Clubs don't start forming.
Please don't.
Please don't do that.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.